guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to go through Bookmap. So as some of you may have seen, I have been posting utilizing Bookmap on Instagram recently. I have been using it for the past 4 or 5 months, I would say now, and I feel like I have gained a lot from it to the point where I can introduce it to you guys and actually explain to you guys what I'm looking for on Bookmap and how I utilize it and implement it into my trading. Bookmap is literally order flow, so it's just showing you order flow. It's showing you whether buyers or sellers are present and at what levels those buyers and sellers are present. It can give you a lot of insight into liquidity in the market, volume in the market, and when to enter and exit your positions. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And the link to join Bookmap, if you want to go along with me while I set it up, is down below in the description. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you want to do is follow the link in the description box below of this video to get onto the Bookmap website. So I have linked it below in the description box so you guys can go ahead and get there. So once you're on the main screen here, what you want to do is go to connectivity and then scroll down and you'll see these options here. So to trade stocks and futures, you will need at least the global monthly subscription. You don't necessarily need the global plus. So the global plus allows you to actually trade on the Bookmap platform, so you can connect your broker, for example, Interactive Brokers, to Bookmap and actually trade through Bookmap. I don't do that, so all you need is the global monthly subscription. You would come down here, select global. I'm already signed up, so you'll sign up here. You can select the monthly or yearly plan, whatever you want to do. And then once you sign up, it will go ahead and give you a link to download the Bookmap platform. Okay, so I think you can actually even download it here. Let me show you. Let me sign in here. Okay, so yeah, so when you go to sign in, you'll see that the download links are here. So once you create an account, it'll ask you to log in again. And then once you log in, before you log in, go ahead and download it for whatever system that you have. I have it downloaded for both my Mac and my Windows. Once it's downloaded and you're connected and you're all set to go, you can then launch the Bookmap portal. So we're going to go ahead and now launch that. So once you open Bookmap, you'll get something like this that'll give you 3 different modes. The mode that you want to use is simulation mode. The trading mode is the one that you utilize if you have connected your broker and you're actually trading through Bookmap. And then the replay mode is, so if you click simulation mode here, it records the live data. So this is always checked for me in case I want to go back and look at what was going on for the day, and kind of, that's exactly how I learned Bookmap and how I learned to read the order flow, is I would always record the live data in simulation mode, and then throughout the week I would go back and watch how Bookmap moved and then how the ES futures moved as well, so that I could kind of gauge exactly what I was looking for. So you want to go into simulation mode, and then once you have it recorded and you want to go back and watch it, you go into replay mode. So we're just going to go into simulation mode really quickly so I can kind of show you guys. And once you first start it up, you'll get some pop-up boxes that ask you to update stuff. You just want to go ahead and select perform selected actions, and it'll go ahead and download all of the little things that it needs, the updates. Okay, so once the Bookmap opens up here, this is what you'll see. So you won't actually have any connections here. What will happen is it'll ask you to add a connection. So what you're going to do is go into the connections and press configure. And then you want to make sure that you are connected to DX feed real time. So it'll give you a little drop down option. So what you'll do is hit, let me go back here so you guys can see. So you hit, once you open the platform, you hit connections, configure, add connection, okay? And then it'll pop this up, and you want to drop down and select DX feed. So you'll go down here, and mine is already downloaded, so it might not show it here. Yeah, so mine is already downloaded, but what you'll see is DX feed real time and DX feed. You want to go ahead and download both of those, and then it'll have it right here for you. And I'm going to remove that. So I'm going to just go to DX feed real time and it'll have the DX feed as well. So you want to make sure that both of those are connected, and you don't have to change the platform or anything like that. Just make sure that it says DX feed. Okay. And then you just press OK. Once you press OK, it'll connect to real-time data. What you want to do then is you won't have these two charts up. What you'll have to do is press add an instrument. Okay. And the platform is going to be defaulted to DX feed. And this is the symbol for ES futures. Okay. So if you need to add ES futures, this is the symbol. So you guys can take a look at that, write that down. And the symbol for NASDAQ is the same thing, except you put NQ where ES is. So the NASDAQ symbol would be this. Okay. Once you have that, you want to press subscribe. So I'll click the NASDAQ, subscribe, and there it goes. Okay. So I populated the NASDAQ here for you. All right. Once you have your setup here and you have all of the tickers you want to watch, you can then hit File, Save Workspace As, and you want to save it to whatever you want to name it to. The next time you go and open Bookmap, you want to hit File, Open Workspace, and open whichever workspace, whatever you named it under. Once you do that and you initially set that process up, every time that you open Bookmap, it'll ask you to save when you exit. So when you exit Bookmap, it'll ask you to save and exit. You want to save and exit, and then the next time that you open Bookmap, it'll already be saved. It'll open exactly how you had it laid out. So you won't have to continue to do this process every single time. So that is the initial process on how to get Bookmap set up. Now, what is Bookmap and what is it for? So basically, Bookmap is order flow. So similar to watching level 2 and time and sales to kind of determine whether buyers or sellers are heavy, determine volume in the market, you're really looking at order flow to kind of gauge whether there's buying pressure or selling pressure, whether the stock has momentum to be able to break through certain levels, and where you see significant buyers and sellers sitting at certain support and resistance levels. So futures opened up. It's now 6 p.m. I'm going to actually go into a replay mode and show you an example of ES futures throughout the day and how you'll see it moving on Bookmap and what you want to look out for. So once you log into replay mode, you want to hit open data file and then select whichever data file it's recorded under. Make sure that you name it properly and the date so they can open it easily. And I have here opened October 16th. So this was Monday, October 16th. And you can pretty much rewatch the entire day on Bookmap on whatever you recorded, ES futures, NASDAQ futures, or if you recorded a specific ticker, you can watch that as well. So this is almost 9:30 here on October 16th. So I'm just going to go ahead and what you're really looking out for on Bookmap, you want to look at it into two different modes. One, you want to look at it zoomed out like this. When I look at it zoomed out like this, you kind of want to see exactly where there's specific levels of buying and selling pressure. Okay, so once you zoom out of it like this, you can see specific resistance and support levels when you're looking at Bookmap. So if we look at it over here, you can see this was at 9:45, kind of 9:30 right in the morning. There was a resistance level here at around 43.90. So this is the level here. We can see that we had some more significant sellers sitting at that level at 43.90 as resistance. On the downside, we did have a level of support here as well at around 43.80. So we had sellers sitting at 43.90 and buyers sitting at 43.80 on ES futures. So it was in this range on Bookmap. So if you're looking at ES futures at that point, you want to say, hey, there's sellers sitting at this level. This is the level of resistance. And there's buyers sitting at this level. This is the level of support. So I'm not going to enter calls unless we break through 43.90 and those orders get filled, those sell orders get filled and buyers are still heavy, or we break below the 43.80 level, the buy orders get filled and sellers are still heavy. Either way, you want to see the breakout of that range on Bookmap prior to you entering any specific trades. Whether you're trading SPX or SPY or any ticker in the market, you still want to watch futures. So you can see here, we weren't able to break at around 9:37. It touched that 43.90, came back down, and then it was in a range. And then if we go ahead and look at 10:12, you can see that, let's go ahead and zoom in. So as we zoom into that time frame at 10:11, you can see that ES futures was approaching the 43.90 level here, and you can see from 43.87 to around 43.90 you have a lot of liquidity here. So a lot of selling pressure sitting, and as you can see, as those orders get filled, you can see that buyers are still heavy. So what you want to see as the stock is breaking through those levels, those high liquidity levels, you see where there's significant buying pressure or selling pressure, you want to see if you're looking for the buyers to clear sellers here. So if you're looking for resistance to clear, you want to continue to see big buy orders come through. As the stock is breaking through those levels, you want to continuously see big buy orders come through. What you don't want to see is if you get this order come through and then another big order of sellers, okay? So what you want to see is continuous buyers, big buy orders coming through as the stock is making the move up. And you can see that it made the move up all the way to around 43.95, and then we got a little bit of resistance at around 43.95. We had some sellers sitting there as well. ES went up until 43.97 here, and then that's where we start to see sellers kind of step in, and it consolidates for a little while. Above this level, so we see significant selling pressure from 43.90, 43.95, and then you get to 4,400. So 4,400 is a psychological level on ES futures. Once you get to 4,400, you can see that there's heavy sellers sitting here. And you can see that by the number as well. If we go back, you can see the number was a lot higher. So you can see before they filled how many sellers were sitting there. There was a lot of liquidity here at 4,400. Once we started to break, look at this, big buy orders come through. Those sell orders got filled. Buyers still ended up holding, and that is what you want to see when you see a breakout of resistance on Bookmap, okay? So you can see here we had that wall of sellers, okay? As ES is approaching that wall of sellers, you want to see these orders get filled and buyers still have control, okay? Even though these sell orders are getting filled, buyers should still have control of the stock. And look at what happens. As we pull this through, we can see that the order is getting filled. Buyers are still heavy here, and the stock is holding, and we continue to make the move up. Above 4,400, you can see here ES has a clear shot to around 4,410. You don't see significant selling pressure until 4,410. So if I look to enter ES futures, or if I look to enter SPY or SPX, I want to see ES futures clear 4,400. I want to see buyers hold it up. Okay, so those sell orders should get filled. So as it is approaching 4,400, I want to see these huge sell orders get filled. Okay, so those orders got filled, and look who's still in control. Buyers still in control. The stock is still making a move up. And look at this. We did get some sell orders here, but overall buyers are still heavy. Step back in. So let's say I enter the position as ES clears 4,400. I enter SPX calls. Now I'm looking to see where the next level I have on ES where there's significant selling pressure. That is going to be my target on ES futures, which in turn is going to give me a target on SPX. So if we look here above 4,400 where we had a wall of sellers here, the next level up that I see where there's might be a little bit of selling pressure is around 4,407 and then 4,410. Okay, before that, I don't see any heavy selling pressure. And as we see, look at this. Buyers ended up going all the way up to around 4,405, 4,407 here. So you can see 4,407 is where it got filled, this bid. Okay, it even went all the way up to 4,409. Once it hit 4,409, those wall of sellers stepped back in at 4,410 and pushed the stock back down. So this is a clean example of what you want to look out for on Bookmap, on order flow when you're looking to enter a position either on SPX or SPY or any ticker. This is the same thing that you would look for on the NASDAQ if you're looking to enter Tesla or Nvidia or any of the tech sector, or if you're looking at the specific tech sector tickers, for example, Apple or Tesla or Nvidia. This is what you want to look for as those stocks are approaching significant levels of support and resistance. Do you see buyers on Bookmap? Do you see sellers on Bookmap at those levels of support and resistance? Do you see a wall of buyers? Do you see a wall of sellers? If so, what you want to see is those orders get filled, and the opposite side still controlling. So to the upside, you want to see the sell orders get filled, but you still want to see buyers in control. Buyers in control all throughout. We got a little bit of stagnancy here, and then buyers step back in here. We didn't have any significant levels of resistance from 4,400, like I said, up until around 4,407, 4,410. And you can see that is the play that you want to look to take. So from 4,400 to 4,410 on ES would be the play, and whatever play you take on SPX. Let's say as ES breaks 4,400, you're looking for SPX to break 4,490. Okay, this would be the play that you take. So the target on your SPX would be 4,410 on ES futures. So you should anticipate, if you're in this play, that at 4,410, ES could potentially have some resistance. We could see some sellers step in because there is a wall. So you want to look, so this is the current order book here, so you can add different things to here. If you right click, you can add volume and there's a bunch of stuff. You can add times and sales. I just have the current order book. I mostly just use this column here as the current order book column, and you want to see, like I said, anything over 300. If you see big orders like this, 600, 500, 400, where you see a lot of selling pressure or buying pressure, a lot of liquidity at those levels, you should anticipate that there's going to be resistance or support at those levels. So if it's at a level to the upside, it's going to be resistance. A level to the downside, it's going to be support. A level to the upside, we have a wall of sellers, and a level to the downside, we have a wall of buyers. So depending on what side of the market that you're on, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to see who is present in the market and what their potential, what they're looking to do. So this is just going to give you insight into buying and selling pressure. It's going to give you insight into when to potentially enter and exit your positions. This is a great tool, and personally what I have been using for one, to figure out where there's high levels of resistance and support, significant levels of resistance and support in the in ES futures, and then from there I zoom in to the chart. So whenever I'm actually looking for a specific trade and I'm looking to enter, this is how much I'm zoomed in. So I zoom into the chart. Once I'm looking for an entry and exit, I zoom into the chart. I make sure that the orders get filled and buyers are still present. I zoom back out, and then I look at where the next level of significant wall of sellers is to the upside for me to potentially take profit on SPX or on SPY or whatever you're specifically trading. For me specifically, it's SPX. I watch ES futures to trade SPX. So I always zoom in, make sure that those orders get filled, zoom back out, look at the next level of resistance to the upside. So for me, Bookmap is really about finding clear levels of support and resistance on ES futures and NASDAQ futures, and then from there looking for points of entry. It helps me make sure that I'm actually, when you see ES futures or NASDAQ breaks, sometimes you can get faked out. This is going to help you get insight into whether buyers are actually there, buyers are actually overtaking sellers or not, or if it's just a fake out, the stock's not able to. And what you'll usually see if it is a fake out is you'll see these orders get filled, but it's still heavy selling pressure. So you start to see sellers step back in once the orders get filled, and you'll see heavy selling pressure back down and push the stock immediately back down as it starts to approach this level. Bookmap has a lot of features, a lot of add-ons that you can utilize. One of the add-ons that I personally utilize, I'm gonna come up to this configure add-ons button here, click it, and you'll go into manage add-ons, and you'll add Market Pulse. So mine's already is up here, so you'll scroll down to where it says Market Pulse and click install the Market Pulse, and once it's installed, you'll see it here, okay? Once you see it here, you want to click it, and what you'll see is this little button, this little base here. So I'm going to remove this to just kind of show you what you'll see. So you want to click create, and this creates a new widget. You want to scroll down here and click volume pressure. Okay. Once you click volume pressure, you can use volume pressure on NASDAQ, ES, Apple, whatever you have linked. I'm going to just do volume pressure on ES futures. You keep the threshold and the volume the same. You click play. Oh, my Mac is going to die. And this is what will populate. You'll get this little widget here. This widget tells you whether there's buying pressure or selling pressure. Right now it's a Sunday, futures just open, so that's why these numbers are so low. During market open hours, this will go into the hundreds of thousands, millions, depending on how heavy volume pressure is. This little line here is the 70% threshold. So a way you can set this up is, if you have your sound on, if it goes over the 70% threshold, you'll get a notification. This notifies you that either sellers or buyers or both have now gone past the 70% threshold of sellers or buyers. Okay, what this means, so how you utilize it, obviously, is just to check overall volume of the move. So if, for example, ES is approaching a level of resistance, okay, you see that there are sellers sitting at that level. Okay, so what do you want to see in order to enter calls? You want to see buyers take over that level. Okay, so what you want to see on this volume pressure is you want to see buyers overtake sellers on this volume pressure. You want to see significantly more buyers stepping in as ES is approaching that level. As it's trying to clear that level, there should be more buyers stepping in, showing that there is volume behind that move. Buyers are significantly present. Okay, there's momentum behind that move for you to be able to enter. If, for example, ES is approaching a level of resistance where I see sellers, and on volume pressure, both sellers and buyers are heavy, I don't see one overtaking the other, and I, in turn, don't see that on Bookmap either, then that usually signifies that no one has control just yet. Be patient, wait for an entry point at that point. Okay, so this is going to be really helpful. I keep this on my SPX chart. I don't even just keep it on Bookmap. I keep it on my little SPX chart right where times and sales is. It really helps me to look at, is there volume behind the move? And if there is volume, who is in control of that volume, buyers or sellers? I love this tool. This is probably my favorite part of Bookmap, because it's so clearly and easily shows you exactly how much volume is there and who is in control of that volume. And you can see it as it's making this little move here. You can see volume starts to pick up. It's starting to make a little bit of a move up, but you'll see it a lot more obviously during market open hours, since right now we're in a Sunday. Okay, so I always apply this as well. This is the only add-on that I have currently. I don't have any other add-ons on Bookmap. I like to keep things like this pretty simplified. You can add candlesticks. You can add, there's just so much within this platform. There's so many add-ons that I still have yet to utilize, but I try to keep it as simplified as possible. For me, this is entries and exits, volume, and just looking at overall order flow to be able to determine whether whether I would enter a position or when to exit a position. And that's what I use Bookmap for. So one other thing that I want to show you guys is this learning center. So once you come into Bookmap and you log in and stuff, they have a learning center, okay? This learning center, so if you're having issues getting connected, if you're having issues getting started, if you're looking for different add-ons, that has all of the add-ons here, there's hours and hours and hours of learning material here on their website. So if I went through it a little too fast, which I do talk fast, there's a lot more of learning material here on their specific website, so you can go through and look at the different add-ons it has. Also, their support center is really, really helpful. If you have issues installing the platform or getting connectivity, reach out to them via email. They're really, really helpful. And yeah, that's how you utilize it. Moving forward, what I will do for you guys, because I post a lot of live trades, I will also be recording Bookmap as well. I think the best way to learn order flow is to record it and then rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it. So that way you know exactly what to pull from what you're seeing, exactly what to look for, because when you're just looking at it overall, sometimes it can be overwhelming. But if you know exactly the key pieces to look for, it becomes a lot easier. And the only way to really learn that, even though I've just explained to you guys what I look for, is for you to record it and rewatch it and rewatch it. And the good thing is that they do have a replay mode. It records everything for you, so you don't have to do it yourself. But I will, moving forward, when I do my live trades, I will also go through what I saw on Bookmap with you guys. I'll record that and make sure that you're able to see it as well. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Again, the link to join Bookmap is down below. If you have any if you guys have any additional questions, please feel free to comment it down below as well. And I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.